Welcome back to the Old Young Calf YouTube channel. Thanks for tuning in for this special edition episode that nobody wanted 5 months ago. We're gonna sit here and talk about the Patriots draft chances and what it means in this coming weekend now that we are tied with the Commanders and Cardinals in losses. There's been a lot of lazy journalism out there claiming we could drop as low as 6th or 7th, but they don't describe how. And what we're gonna talk about in this video is the lowest we feasibly can go and how do we stay high? So I'm going to share a presentation that we made. There's a lot of information in here, and we tried to wrap our heads in this around this as much as we could to save you guys the trouble. So here's your guide as a Patriots fan for Week 18. This is what we're going to cover: the current state of strength of schedule. There's a handful of teams that actually matter. We're going to show their records and their strength of schedule, how we're going to get the number 2 pick if the Patriots lose. This is one of the easier scenarios. How to get the number 2 pick if the Patriots win, which is, tough. How do we get that number 3 pick if the Patriots win? How we get the number 4 pick if the Patriots win? Number 5, and how to cheer in week 18. Okay. So my dad's going to start us off with the next slide where we're going to break down the strength of schedule currently. So, Dad, do you want to give any lead into this slide before we get started?
This is a big deal. So my son was up till 5 in the morning doing the numbers and the research. And NBC Sports and CBS Sports, they're reporting bad info. They can fall as sixth or seventh. That is not true. The furthest they can fall is fifth, actually. That's what my son's data has come up with. That's actually better news than I thought. So is it still tough to move up from 5 to 3 in the draft? That might not sound like it's tough. Trust me, it's tough. You got to give up quite a bit, but at least it's within reasonable striking distance to get, those coveted one of those three quarterbacks. So yeah, that's definitely some good news leading off right off the bat. So here's the first scenario. The Giants. Opponent record 139 and 133 going into the last week of the year. Strength of schedule 511. Commanders 140 and 132. Strength of schedule 5.15. And here we are, the Patriots. Strength of schedule 141, 131. Strength of schedule 518. Chargers 143, 129. Percentage of 526. And then the Titans 144, 128. Percentage of 526.
Yep, and there's a slight math error on that 526 for the Titans. But as my dad mentioned, the Commanders and Giants, there's an asterisk there. We do hold a tiebreaker because they're not in our conference. It falls to common games, and because we lost to them, we hold the tiebreaker. So so if we match them in opponent record, we do pick below them. So that's actually really good news for us. Chargers, not so much since they're in our conference. I believe it falls to divisional record, and we have a better divisional record than the Chargers. I think they're 1-5 or something like that. But yeah, this is how it kind of breaks down. A lot of places are giving you the 0.5xx. I wanted to give you the actual records, and I went through last night, like my dad said, about 5 a.m., going over all the scenarios, adding up all the records of the teams each team has faced so we can see the cold hard facts of almost like a standings, right? Because that's what we're all used to as fans. We're used to the standings, games ahead, games back. Right now, we're two games back from the Giants when it comes to the strength of schedule. We hold the tiebreaker. We match them in strength of schedule. We are then the worst strength of schedule. Simple as that. All right. So we'll move on to the. Oh, and the Cardinals. Oh, whoops, forgot the Cardinals. They're almost out of the picture. If we match them with wins, there's no way they can catch us. They are, much further ahead of us in strength of schedule. All right, so we'll jump into scenario 1. If the Patriots lose to the Jets on Sunday, how do we get the number 2 pick? The easiest path is the Cowboys lose to the Commanders. If the Cowboys lose to the Commanders, that guarantees us the number 2 pick. I doubt it happens, but we'll see. Now, if the Cowboys beat the Commanders, how do we get that? The most important game of the week then becomes the Falcons and Saints. We need the Falcons to beat the Saints. The Commanders have played the Falcons. We played the Saints. This would make it a major swing. Now, if the Falcons win, we only need two of the following to happen. We need the Steelers, Colts, Raiders, and Packers. We need two of those guys to lose. If the Falcons lose, we need all four of those teams to lose on Sunday, which makes it pretty steep. All right. Now we'll move on to scenario number 2. Dad, you want to take it away?
All right, now scenario number 2. If the Patriots beat the Jets on Sunday, how do we get that second pick if that happens? Well, the Cowboys would need to lose at the Commanders. We need the Seahawks to lose at Arizona, the Eagles to lose at the Giants. All three of the above need to happen for us to get to number 2. And then we also need to catch Washington in strength of schedule. And the following are also very important: Steelers, Colts, Saints, Packers, Raiders. We need all of them to lose. So obviously, this is a really tough scenario. So best bet is the Patriots to lose. So, but if they do win, all hope's not lost. But
Yep.
man, we need to hit like a bingo lottery jackpot.
Yes.
So it's going to be tough.
Yeah, for sure. And a big part of us getting the number 2 pick with a win on Sunday starts on Saturday. The Colts and Steelers, those guys got to lose. So right off the bat. So we'll move into scenario number 3. So scenario number 3 is the Patriots win against the Jets. How do we get that number 3 pick? So of course the Cowboys. This is believing the Cowboys beat the Commanders. This believes that the Cardinals win. Right, they beat the Seahawks at home. Not too far fetched. The Eagles lose at the Giants. The Eagles are falling apart. Now, if Arizona and the Giants win, we should get the number 3 pick because the next closest team in strength of schedule would be the Chargers, and they would need an immense amount of help to catch us. And I think it's to the point where they straight up just can't catch us. So if Arizona wins and the Giants lose, we now need to catch the Giants in the strength of schedule, but the Giants are surprisingly easier to catch than the Commanders. We would just need two of the following to happen: Steelers, Colts, Bears, and Broncos to lose. That's it. So the number 3 pick is still in play if we beat the Jets. We just need just a couple upsets. All right. So we'll move on to scenario number 4. Dad, that's your ball.
Yeah, so I mean that is huge. It's all about the top 3 picks, guaranteeing self one of those 3 quarterbacks. This is doom and gloom disaster time from this point on. Unless I guess 1, 2, or 3 ahead of us picks Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't count on that because a lot of rumors are saying that teams are trading up to get one of those 3 quarterbacks. So here is the 4th scenario: if the Patriots beat the Jets. We get stuck with that number 4 pick. Cowboys win at Commanders. Seahawks win at Arizona. Eagles win at the Giants. Washington gets number 2. Arizona gets number 3. Now we have to catch the Giants in strength of schedule. And to catch the Giants in strength of schedule, we need 3 of the following to happen: Steelers, Colts, Bears, Broncos to lose. I mean, bum teams, but so it's possible. That first scenario is it's possible. The Cowboys winning, Seahawks winning, Eagles winning, you know, and then we need 3 out of those 4, crap
Yeah.
teams to lose. So, 4 is better than 5. That's for sure. Don't tell me, don't underestimate that one spot.
Yep.
A lot easier to move from 4 to 3 than it is from 5 to 3. So,
Yep.
man, it's a good breakdown, Matt. Really well done.
Thank you. Thank you. And
Yeah.
again, there was a lot of hours in this. If I'm wrong on any account, feel free to dive in. I invite you to stay up till 5 a.m. Yourself. Now, one thing my dad will, made note of this prior to starting this podcast is the Steelers are facing the Ravens. Ravens have clinched the first seed. They're probably going to be sitting a lot of guys. The Steelers are playing for a playoff spot. The good news is that will not sink us too much because in most of these scenarios, we don't always need the Steelers to lose, but it definitely is going to help. So yeah, let's move on to scenario number 5. And like my dad said, this is where it gets kind of doom and gloom. Patriots beat the Jets. How do we get that number 5 pick? Um, or how do we get stuck with the number 5 pick, I should say?
Yeah.
Of course, the Commanders lose, Cardinals lose, Giants lose, Steelers win, Colts win, Washington gets a 2, Arizona gets a 3, Giants gets a 4, and now we have to stay lower strength of schedule than the Chargers. After crunching the numbers, it's a guarantee we're going to get the 5. Here's the reason why. If we beat the Jets, that's 2 losses in our strength of schedule column. For the Chargers and Titans, which are primary Chargers Titans are primary competition, for them to stay at 5 wins, they need to beat a division rival, which means their win columns get 2 wins, and we're already ahead of them. So there's just no way those guys are catching us. So we are guaranteed locked in at the 5. This is, the worst case scenario as a Patriots fan, but this is how we get there. So
I feel like this is how you caught them, Matt. I feel
yeah,
like NBC and CBS Sports did not take that scenario into consideration. So
yep,
great job on that. Keep in mind, the Ravens, sometimes teams don't, they're already having a bye.
yeah,
Sometimes, so they should play their starters at least a half. I don't think they're sitting all their starters because now you're talking about a lot of weeks off
yeah.
before you actually play a game. So maybe they play them a half. The Steelers, you know, garbage team. They did screw us last week with a win. And, as far as the Jets go, we just got to hope that all week long the Jets are sick of hearing about how they haven't beaten us. And how long's it been?
Yeah, yeah, it's
It's
been a
been
few years.
like a lot of years. I think it's been like 10 years they haven't beat us. So it unfortunately is in Foxborough. We are a 2.5 point favorite. We just gotta hope the Jets have some pride and they're tired of hearing about it and they come in and Zappy just grabs his pants.
Yeah, let's move on to all right. So you're a Patriots fan. You got your Tom Brady jersey on. You're remembering the glory days, right? When this was never a thing. How do you cheer on the final weekend of football from a Patriots standpoint of the year? You want that first Saturday game of Steelers and Ravens. The Steelers losing is always good for us. It is not bad. The Titans winning at the Colts is always good. In every scenario, this benefits us. This gets us a really good jump on the weekend. It's not a deal breaker, either way if these don't go our way, but easy money, right? Sunday gets very messy, and this is where you need like a master's degree in this stuff, and you need to spend a ton of hours on it to start to understand it. We can lock in the number 2 pick before the Commanders even play. If the Steelers, Colts, Saints, and Patriots lose, that's guaranteed number 2 pick. The Saints game is underlined because, as mentioned, the Saints makes us catching the Commanders much easier. If the Saints win, then we end up having to hit like a parlay of 4 games to catch the Commanders. If the
But not to
Saints,
get
yeah,
their hopes up,
yeah,
the Saints just pasted the Bucks at the Bucks because that
yeah,
defense is good. So that's a tough scenario. That's a tough ask for the Falcons to beat them. But I'm sorry, I don't mean to be doom and
yeah,
gloom. Go ahead.
yeah, no, and I think this is the scenario we have to prepare for, and that's why we're doing this for you guys and for ourselves. Is that if the Saints win, we now need the Patriots, Steelers, Titans, Raiders, and Packers to lose to get the number 2 pick.
Oof.
So if
Yeah.
come 425, the Steelers won, the Titans won, and the Saints won. Uh, we got to hope for the Commanders to win to get the number 2 pick because that's the only way we're going to get it. All right. So we could go into in-depth summary of all these other scenarios, but it would make this a whole new video. If you're looking for a specific pick and how we get there, please go back into the timestamp sections and you'll be able to watch that again. The final and most important point, and I think from a Patriots fan perspective, I think it needs to be said that the Dolphins and Bills are joke franchises and have not had a meaningful win against a competitive team all season and will be embarrassed when they both make the playoffs. The Dolphins got their doors blown off against the Ravens, and then they left their one of their best defensive players out there who blew his ACL. Do you see that? Chubb blew his ACL. The Dolphins and Bills are phonies. The Bills beat the Chiefs, but the Chiefs are, have a huge, vulnerability. I think we almost beat the Chiefs, to be honest. So overall, F the Jets. Uh, Go all of these teams. I hope that we are in prime position for quarterback of the future. And simultaneously, I'm sorry to anybody that I offend by saying that I hope we get a higher draft pick. I know there's a lot of turmoil on the Patriots subreddit. People calling certain people not true fans, not that fans. Let's all just cheer for what we want to cheer for and not poo poo it on anybody else. I hope we get a high draft pick. That's my thoughts on it. Dad, any thoughts you have on it before we end the video?
No, it's a great job breaking it down. Can't guarantee this. Maybe we could try to do quick videos after each, after the Saturday games. Matt, maybe you could by yourself just do a quick, hey, it's a 2 minute video. This is what happened. This is why it's good. This is what it's bad. Now this is what we need to root for. Maybe you can do that after the Saturday games. Maybe you can do it after the 1 o'clock games. And, let us
Yeah,
know after the four where we're picking.
we'll see. But hopefully it's very
Yep.
easy. Hope we'll see.
Yes. Right.
Thanks everybody for tuned in. I hope this was beneficial to you. I hope this helped uncross some wires and it helps you cheer for the right games on Sunday and Saturday. So everybody, happy New Year. Thank you. And check out our podcast. We do one every week, and we're going to try and do, spin-off special edition videos like this when there's a topic that's important that we feel like we need to hit on. So thanks for tuning in. I hope everybody has a good rest of their week. Bye.
Take care, folks.